All right, what's up, everybody? How we doing? We had some technical delays here, so a few minutes late to our live stream today. We're also turning in our uh, audio here, so there may be a quick delay here on the audio side of things. So please forgive me for that. But hopefully, we should be good to go. I'm going to tell you to go away here, not to you guys, but to my Apple Music. I don't know why it's popping up on me. Anyway, welcome to another live broadcast of our Project Fresh daily live stream. Yesterday we ran it up short. Glad we did. Just felt like it was time for me to connect with my wife. Was able to learn a few different things and get a better understanding. And it's funny. Yesterday was one of those days that was really tough in the context of what I'm going to be talking about this evening. And I'm going to be talking about humility. I'm going to be talking about how change is hard for each of us. And I'll probably put that I might have to delete that in the description for sure. I'll make sure that we have all of this in there. But change can be especially really hard. Really hard, very difficult, very challenging. There it goes. So I can delete this one. Delete forever. Oh my gosh, delete it forever. It is so gone. Okay, I'm just updating the video here so that we're good to go. And then I'll go into this one and make sure all of our details for today. I also noticed that I didn't have the description in yesterday's stream taken care of. So we got that good to go here as well. Description for today is up. So change can be very difficult. And I'll give you an example. A lot of the clients that I bring on, especially with everything that's going on right now, they may start on a 6-week program and it may take them, and I'm laughing because I've been there and done that so many times in my own life. We get excited about something, or we finally see we have hope in a solution, hope enough, or what did I say? The solution we've come into. In this case, for us, we'd be the coach, the service that would be the solution. But let's just say I'm the client or customer like yourself. We are looking to solve our problem, or there's a challenge that we, for whatever reason, just cannot get past. And so we go out in life and we look for something that will help us address that challenge, address that situation that we keep hitting that wall. We keep getting stuck. We're stuck. How do we address it? So we look for a product or service that we feel will meet our needs, that will help us make those changes. And in that process, a lot of times, because we're living the lifestyle that we are, for example, you're eating in a certain way where you feel that carbs are bad, which is very common. Carbs are not bad, actually. It's what kind of carbs you eat that could be bad or could not matter at all. Carbs get a bad rap right now, unfortunately. I don't know, maybe it's because they're not as marketable as, say, proteins, or not as marketable like protein powder, or maybe not as marketable as, say, a keto diet, which is fats, or ketones that people sell for you to actually take. Like they actually make ketones, you put it in a drink and you drink it. I won't get into that. I won't get into all that stuff right now. But for example, let's say you're living a lifestyle where you're trying to burn the belly fat, and you've got an idea that carbs are your enemy, when really they're not. Carbs are actually the main fuel source of the body. So we need carbs to get the body going. And if we decide to make the fuel source of the body different, say uh, fats, which would be ketosis, the keto diet, quote unquote. I wouldn't call it a diet myself because it may not be sustainable for you in a lifestyle setting, which is what we focus on. Anyway, long story short, let's say you're stuck. Belly fat is 5 to 10 to 15 pounds more than what you wanted. That tire is not going away. And you're saying, I don't want to have carbs, or you're saying, I don't want to go to bed when I need to, or you're not willing to do the exercise or whatever it may be, but you keep running up against that wall. You need to understand that there are certain things that are keeping you in the place that you're in, right? So we get into that awareness, we get you that understanding, and now we're off to the races. Back to my point where I was getting to, long story short, is that there is a period in time that we need to make the change, to start making the changes. I am seeing a lot of folks right now get into my programming who are taking time. I'm not saying they're slow. I'm not saying that they don't get it. I'm not saying any of that. Like, it literally takes time for you to make a shift. I'm going to talk on the context of humility today because I'm feeling convicted for myself. I'm going to use myself as the example today for humility. But there are a lot of different reasons why change may be difficult. Simply put, it is something that you're starting to do that you're not doing before. So it's a disruption, it's a change psychologically. It impacts your schedule, it impacts your resources, it impacts your day to day interactions, whether it's family or work or whatever else. It may impact what you want to do. There's a lot of factors that are involved there. And so it is, therefore, a process. Okay, we got that out of the way. Now, in the context of once we've cultivated a schedule, we've cultivated the resources, we've got things in place and we're moving, sometimes it comes down to, and maybe we don't get that far, sometimes it comes down to just not wanting to do it. Or what I would like to get into today is humility. Uh, I will tell you guys this, that when I first started doing this as a coach, I had phenomenal results. And I don't know if you guys have been to our Instagram page, but my lifestyle before I graduated college was I would be sleeping very little, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours a night. I was an engineer, so civil engineering was something that was very difficult for me. I had the background in high school to do it, but once I got to the competitive arena of college, I went to Northwestern University. It's been rated like in the top schools. It doesn't matter what the number is, but it's a difficult school. That's the point I'm trying to get to. The bottom line is that it was something for me that I wasn't used to. That level of demand, that level of what was required to be successful in the academic work, and then also just the fact that it was a school that was engineering, that was driven by a dean who wanted to make sure that his students were not just great engineers, but full-brained engineers is what he liked to say. So both sides of the brains were worked on, the creative side as well as the analytical side. It was a very competitive and very challenging environment for me. I also had to work a couple of jobs, so there was a lot going on for me. And with that, I would eat a lot or I'd eat poorly, one or the other or both. And in addition to that, I would also drink. I drank a lot through college. I was mostly social drinking, so usually it was on the weekends only, and however many weekends I would do it. It depended on the weekend and if we were busy or not. But my diet was poor. I knew nothing about food. Alcohol was involved, which is not good for the body in general, especially in the amount that I was drinking it. There were times where I would drink an entire fifth, a whole bottle to myself, just because that was the context of the night or the parties or whatever it was. Plus, I knew I could handle it because I had tried it a couple of times. So I knew I could handle it. And exercise was here and there. Pick up basketball, maybe pick up or flag football here and there, go and get the workouts here and there whenever, but it wasn't consistent. It wasn't something that was eating well, exercising well, sleeping well. There wasn't a 6 month period of that taking place anywhere throughout those 4 years. So when I finally got out of college and I got into the work environment and got about a couple of months under my belt to understand how work was going to be this new life in construction management. In that period and season, I started to learn what was required for fitness and for health and everything else. The social life was gone. I didn't have any friends that I was hanging out with. I was literally in a brand new space and place with really nobody that I knew. So my life was pretty much work and working out, with the exception of going on excursions or having people visit every so often. I didn't have a roommate, so I was literally living by myself, paying this insane California rent by myself, which was a shocker. But I started to learn what fitness truly was and what nutrition truly was. Not a diet, not some fad, not some quick plan, like lifestyle, nutrition for the lifestyle, to build those lifestyle gains. And in that first 8 months, I lost 33 pounds. I got down to 188, which was the first time I had been in the 180s since I was a kid, probably since I was about 12 or 13. And when I was a kid, I was a fat kid, so I mean I couldn't see my toes. It's funny to talk to people now about it because there's like no way, no way, and then I show them the pictures and they're like, "That's you." It's like, yeah, I was a fat kid. I had a lot of excess weight. It was so bad for me, and this is kind of being transparent, and it's embarrassing, certainly. But the weight was so much that it would put pressure on my bladder, and it would make me like wet myself sometimes in bed because that's how much weight I had in my midsection, and that sucks. And there was stress involved, so high levels of cortisol, which impacts the gut. You can look that up online. I know about this because I've lived it as a kid, not as an adult, but as a kid. Overweight, high stress environment, waking up in the middle of the night, not making it to the bathroom on time. Like it was a tough childhood for me. And then eventually I got to grow up a little bit. I got into sports some more. I started weightlifting. I got taller. Things got better for me, but still, I didn't know the true emphasis of fitness. I didn't know the true emphasis of what do I say? The true emphasis of nutrition. And so after I had this transformation of 33 pounds in 8 months, I was feeling like I was on top of the world. I'd been the leanest I had ever been. I don't know. As far as strength, I was probably relatively strong. Like I could do pull-ups and push-ups and things like that. And endurance was decent. I was starting to explore running again, and was able to do decent with that. And what I did is I shifted over to building some mass, some muscle mass, adding some mass back to my body. And I added about maybe 20, 25 pounds of mass. I'm sure some of it was definitely fat, but my lean mass went from about 180 to 200, more or less. And that was a really good period for me. But after I had those two transformations or those two seasons, I got to a point where work got really busy for me. And this is where the humility and pride comes into play that I'm going to share with you guys. Um, and I find this on the front end where I'm talking to people and I'm telling them why the programming we're gonna utilize with them is gonna work. Or sometimes I find it on the other side when we're already in and hitting a road bump. I'm using myself as the example, but I'm showing you the side of change where you can be potentially shortcoming yourself in the process. Now, this could apply to relationships. I could talk all day about how I've got very poor humility and lots of pride in relationships. Not a good thing at all. I could talk about it in the context of other areas, but I want to focus specifically on health and fitness. After the weight loss, after the muscle gain build, I got into I got promoted at work. I got a lot more responsibility, and I was spending a lot of time at work. So high stress again. And my thought process was that I've had these great results. I know everything I need to know to be successful. Why can't I maintain the body that I want? And it was a level of pride that unfortunately was defeating for me. It got to be so much as like, but I know all this information and I know exactly what I need to do. And I keep trying to do it, but I keep failing, meaning I didn't know what I needed to do. But I'm this guy that knows all this stuff, so this shouldn't be happening to me. And because of that, I allowed myself to get depressed. And then I was in depression for about a year. That was 2015. This is 3 years after I graduated. University college, started my job, lost that first one, got this new job, and into the season where I just got promoted. So now I'm a manager. I'm not an assistant to a manager. I'm now the manager position, working on multiple projects, and eventually I had a APM who came into my team. So now I have someone who I'm teaching the ropes and now learning how to manage another person as well as myself. Really, I think it was more team up with because I told him straight up, I was like, look, you're an assistant, but we're going to team up on this. I'm going to show you what is important first and teach you what you need to level up. And he was a cool guy too. He ended up turning into a project manager in that office, and I think he's basically running the office, him and just one of the other guys that was there now from all the originals. But Beside the point, I had this thought process like, I know what I'm doing. I don't need any information. I don't need to look at anything else. I got this. But I didn't. I wasn't getting it. I wasn't having the results that I thought I would have. And so that level of pride or lack of humility kept me stuck for quite some time. And at times, I've found myself since then going back there thinking, oh, I know what I need to do, not the thing to do. And I'll tell you guys this, I actually am utilizing other people's fitness programs to assist me in that next level because those are areas for myself that I don't know, that I need to learn so that I can learn more about me. And that's what it comes down to, is ultimately what this is all about, is getting into programming where you can do a couple of activities, one, two, maybe three at most, and run that for 21 to 30 days so that you can compile some data, some information, some results. And the results are not bad or good, it's just results, and give yourself a better understanding of you. Why is that important? Because there's no one size fits all. Now, there are general specifics for fitness, for nutrition, that we know if you do X, Y, and Z, we're going to get A, B, C results. Like that's tested, proven. Science continues to show it time and time again. For example, utilizing creatine monohydrate is a very great source of the ATP process, if you know what I'm talking about, as far as the chemical side, the energy system side, the biochemistry side of moving your body and how the body works when we exercise and eat well versus not eat well, or just eat in general. Creatine monohydrate has been proven to assist in the process of building muscle, optimizing muscle. It helps draw in a lot of water. It's also assisting in that ATP process as well. And long story short, there's a lot out there as far as, does it work? Does it not work? Well, should I use it? Should I not use it? It's just a random thought that came to my mind. You may know nothing about creatine. You may be like me, who was raised with parents who said, you will absolutely not have creatine no matter what because it messed up your older brother. They didn't know the value of the creatine. My brother may not have been drinking water, stretching, doing enough recovery, which if you don't do any of those things when you're weightlifting in general, you're prone to injury, especially if you're doing that. In addition to, I tore my, actually had a, I wouldn't say a tear, but it was a heavy duty strain. I was lifting heavy. I was not using creatine. I was not stretching very much, not enough. Drinking water, so. Food, my junior year in high school, so. In track and field, running the 100 and the 200-meter dash, long jump, triple jump. And everything I needed to be an optimized athlete was not there. Pulled my hamstring running an 11.7 on the 100-meter. The best time I had was either an 11.7 or 11.3. So I never broke into the 10s. I had friends who broke into the 10s. I always wished I could have broken into the 10s for the 100-meter dash. Maybe today I might be able to. I don't know. I guess it really doesn't matter at this point, but I didn't have all the necessary information to help me be successful. And I just use that as an analogy. At the end of the day, getting back to what I was getting at, if you feel like you've got it all in the bag, if you feel like you know exactly what you need to accomplish what you're looking for, and you've got somebody else telling you, well, here's where I think you may need to consider those things or consider X, Y, and Z, uh, then and you're not willing to do so, then you may not be ready to do the programming you need to do. Okay. You may not be ready or willing to do our programming. It may be a good fit. We may be a good match as far as personality, relationship, all that great stuff. Ultimately, the program is going to be what it's going to be. Move your body, eat the best possible, sleep the best you can, drink water, reduce your cortisol, your stress and anxiety, because that has a direct impact. It elevates your levels of cortisol, which can have a direct impact on your midsection. The amount of starch and sugar you eat can have a direct impact on your midsection. The amount of sleep that you have or don't have can have an impact on how well you lose weight or don't. I mean, there's three things I just named right there for you right there that could tell you what might be keeping that tire around the midsection that seems to be the main goal. Usually everybody, men and women, the tire can be a challenge. Sometimes it can be upper body or lower body for the ladies, because we can thin from the center up to the nose and down to the toes. That type of thinning process as we lose weight occurs amongst people as well. So not just from the ankles to the chin or to the ears and into the midsection. I've seen the other way, where the first thing that thins is the midsection. I know a couple ladies who are like, I've got this amazing six pack, my core looks great, but I can't do anything with my glutes. I can't do anything with my quads. They will not go. It's like, well, they just need to get that extra step. So genetics, background, etc. Anyway, that's beside the point. I'll give you guys another story. I don't see anybody asking questions today. Yesterday, I have a new mentor in my life who I'm working with in the side of my spiritual health. And it deals specifically with my vocation, what I feel I'm led to do in life. And I know that it ties very closely to uh, helping people. In fact, I told him my last name is Sanders, that the meaning of Sanders is helper of man. I feel a very strong connection to that phrase, where I believe part of what I was created for, if not the main reason of why I was created, was to assist other men, to lift up and pick up and support and teach and coach and assist other men and women, just men in general, as far as mankind. I really feel that deep in my core, in my soul. And so I was sharing with him that uh, for me, this is an area of struggle and challenge, and I just haven't been able to really dial and lock that in all the way. Um, and he said something to me that really stood out. He's like, if you're going to have a mentor, if you're going to have a coach, you need to realize that my experience is going to, you need to take in my experience into consideration, because I may know some things as a gentleman that's been around much longer than I have. Um, Almost, I wouldn't say almost double my lifetime, but he's got plenty of years experience on me, well over a couple decades. He's like, you got to understand that if I'm going to mentor you, uh, I got to know that you're willing to be tapping into my experience, because this whole situation that we're looking at right now isn't going to be predicated just on your experience. And it really struck me, because I was not aware of how lacking in humility I was as far as what I was going to do with my life. Because this whole mentorship aspect is potentially that he's going to have some information, hopefully, this is the reason why I get into it. He's going to have some things that I don't know that he knows, that he's going to have insight into, that when he looks at my life under the microphone. Oh, speaking of which, I'm so glad there's a mute button. So I don't have to sneeze in your guys' ears. I can literally, I wish I could I guess I could do this. I could mute my camera, and I can also mute my, uh, I can also mute my my mic, so you guys don't have to experience that. Apologies. That sneeze was coming and it wasn't going to leave. He's got some insight. He's got some experience, some wisdom. He's got some discernment, some ability to see into a situation and determine what's going on with it that I don't have. And I have two options: go to him, ask questions, be humble, listen, apply. Go to him, say, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to have happen. This is the plan. This is the plan. This is the plan. And this is how I see it. What do you think? Basically, what he told me. And it really opened up my eyes to realize, man, I'm messing up in this area in my life. I wonder what this looks like with my wife and our interactions and what we're going through. This is a real time challenge for me. I'm giving you guys an example into my life of something I'm working on. But I'm also saying that I see this come up um, with clients in health and fitness and lifestyle coaching. And it could be in the form of doubt that it turns into pride. It could be in the form of anxiety, or I may not achieve this because my results in the past show me that it won't happen. That's very common in my industry, especially with all the marketing and advertising out there for all these diets and all these little gimmicks and tricks and tools and things you see for For only 2 payments of $19.99, you can get our new tool. And if just wait in the next 5 minutes, if you call in now, you'll get our brand new doohickey that's in addition to our jingle thingy. And with these two great packages, you're going to lose 100 million pounds. And you're going to be in the best shape of your life. And you know how many people actually are successful in those? Like probably the people that they showcase for the for the before and afters, or the few people who are actually in the commercial are probably the only ones that are successful. Yeah, yeah, the company's successful because a lot of people buy in on the good marketing. But ultimately, I can't tell you the number of people who have told me, Ryan, I've got every device known to man. I've got every program. I meet people who have P90X, the program I've taught in the past. That's how I got into health and fitness, was through Beachbody's program, their philosophy, their methodology to this industry. And other people, it's like, I've got it all. I've lived it all, and I'm still not getting the results that I want. It can come, that lack of humility can come in so many different ways, where the bottom line is, you know what? I've done all these things. I've experienced all this stuff. I feel a certain way. But let me just go ahead and submit myself to the process. And I do my best to encourage people, to let them know that, yes, we may, on the front end, this may not be the best fit for you. This program may not be the best fit. We're not going to change it up because we know it works. And we're going to keep adapting it. We're not saying that we're not taking feedback, because that is a part of our programming. But we know it works. And so we're coming to our prospective clients saying, we've had a lot of results for our clients. This is what we do. And here you go. Now, self-doubt, self-talk, limiting beliefs I see on the front end. And then the, how could I call it? Maybe the prophecy of failure, or the self-fulfilling prophecy. Oh, here's another program that's probably not going to work, XYZ, because they don't realize they're living in that same lifestyle pattern, not knowing that they haven't made the changes that would help them experience what they need. And sometimes it's such simple tweaks. I remember sitting down with someone I went to high school with, where we sat down and we talked about what was going on, his challenges, what he was experiencing. And I asked him a few questions, and I said, have you ever considered this? I taught him about the psychology of loss, which we've covered, I think, last week. And I gave him just a few simple things. Man, he was losing weight so fast after that. It was crazy. I mean, I think some things came up for him in life that changed up his schedule, but ultimately it was crazy how fast just a few tweaks up here especially made all the difference. And a lot of times I think that we're maybe moving so fast, or we're so discouraged, or we're just done because we've tried so many times, which could fall into discouragement, that we just don't want to deal with it anymore. And I've been there. I feel you on that. I know how that is. And that's the reason why I keep coaching. It's because I want to be that encourager, that motivator, that supporter, that partner along the way, to really show people that if you keep trying, you keep looking for that nugget, that little piece that will transform the mind just enough to set you to, well, not set you in a direction, but literally transform the way you think, and potentially even transform your environment. It may not physically or literally change, but your perspective of it will. Man, the results and the potential are just insane. And I see this pattern continue in my life. I set myself up for learning, get a coach, learn a process, apply the process, wait for the time, wait patiently to get through the process, get the results. New season, new challenges, new situations, rinse, wash, and repeat. And I think that's telling of life in general. That, if we go through our school system, or we go through, I guess, typically what would be a usual growing up experience here in the United States, every season prevents a new challenge. And with that challenge, we learn, we adapt, we grow, we modify, we do whatever we need to. And then the new season, the new challenges, school to work, friends to intimate relationships to marriage, potentially. Each season has its challenges. Each season has its new opportunity for growth. And I want to finish today's broadcast by saying, with that humility, I'll just speak for myself. With that humility, I've learned that in every situation, I have one of two choices. I can say, "Man, he just really grilled me yesterday, and that sucked." Or, "All right, there are some very clear shortcomings that I have, and I need to look forward to this opportunity to be humbled so that I can grow." And I'll leave that to you guys for tonight's broadcast. In the fact that yes, change is hard, but I wanted to share some encouraging insight on if we can hold on to a point to have that thought of what if I just go ahead and do this and do the best I can to learn about myself. That right there is powerful. You may not get to where you're going initially, but if you if you spend the time to learn more about yourself, you'll get there. And I want to leave you with that encouraging note. This is Ryan Sanders with Project Fresh. Remember, this is a opportunity that we give every night, Monday through Friday, to connect with clients who are uh, looking for a solution in the transformation process, fitness, nutrition, and accountability. And what we do specifically is a 6-week pilot program. That's our large package, custom package that we're offering. We'll have a special announcement for that next week as far as our packages, based on how things have been going. We're going to shift that up for next week, and then we'll also be making changes come November. And with that being said, I also had a quick announcement. The first Friday in November, we're going to have our first special guest. I got him signed up, or signed up. I've got him scheduled for a time. It'll be Friday the 6th. I'm looking forward to having my friend Pete join us on that day. We're going to be bringing him into the community, and he's going to be sharing with us his story. He's a fellow believer, and we're glad to have him on, and I'll be looking to connect more people into our show, into our live broadcast as we go. I'm well over time at this point, both in the broadcast and in actual time. It's 35 after, so I'm going to end it here, but I want to share that with you guys. Ryan with Project Fresh, it's been another evening and pleasure to connect with you, and I look forward to our next broadcast together. Have an amazing night. Stay safe out there, and I'm on board with you. I hope you're on board with me. Just know I'm working on my humility as well. See you soon.